From Burlington.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the Parliamentary Secretary for sharing her time. She is new to the position of Parliamentary Secretary for the Minister of Finance, but is doing an excellent job and leading our committee, and I want to thank her for her efforts. So today, Madam Speaker, I have 10 minutes to talk about everything that's in our low tax plan, this budget that the Finance Minister brought forward, and I want to focus just on a number of things that affect Burlington in particular, because if I wanted to go through everything that's in this budget, it would take me about 2 hours instead of 10 minutes of the good things that are all for Canadians. So I'm going to try to focus. On things that are for Burlington. For example, Madam Speaker, and I hope my NDP friends listen, because this is some of the stuff that they actually asked for, but now they're going to an election for. I think they hoodwinked or whatever the word is, the Liberal Party, thinking that the NDP were going to support the budget so they could say anything they want. But all of a sudden, no, they're not. So now the Liberals are caught with egg on their face, would be a good point, that now that we're facing an election. But let's get back to what's important to Burlington that is in this budget. First and foremost, Madam Speaker, the majority of the calls and emails and people visiting my office in my riding are seniors. By far, the biggest cohort are seniors and issues facing seniors in my riding of Burlington. I've advocated for a number of things for seniors over the years with the Finance Minister and with other departments, and I'm very happy to see that we are looking at what we're doing for the poorest seniors in this country. We have done in the past, we've looked at seniors issues, and with the pension splitting, have been able to resolve some issues on pension splitting. A big benefit to the people of Burlington, to the seniors of Burlington. In this budget, we are enhancing the money that is going in GIS. And GIS, for those who don't know, is the Guaranteed Income Supplement. And that supplement is for those who are have the lowest income levels in Canada. This change that we're making today will affect 680,000 seniors across this country, including many seniors in my riding. That $600 annually for an individual, or $840 for a couple, will make a significant difference in the income levels for those seniors. I did a study when I first got to office 5 years ago on what actually does a senior get for income. And at that time, it was just over $18,000 a year if you were a Burlington senior in Burlington, and it has gone up. Our party has done things for seniors in terms of how much the age deduction that they could have and so on. So we've been able to address this, but this is a significant change that we're making here. That's targeted, Madam Speaker. Targeted. Are you standing up, or what are you doing?
Order, please. Order. I ask honourable members on both sides of the House to wait till they are recognized to speak. I will not be recognizing for questions and comments those who continue to heckle.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So we have made some significant improvements in that area. Another piece that's what I want to highlight that's not well talked about yet in this budget, but we will be over the next 45 days or so, or 36 days, whatever the election campaign will be, is that we've put $10 million in the New Horizons program. I want to give you an example of what New Horizons program has done for Burlington. We have a senior center in Burlington that provides a breakfast program to shut-in seniors once a month. We, through the New Horizons program, were able to put a new kitchen in the senior center that's been able to provide this program. This program provides support for groups that are doing good work for seniors in our communities on the ground every day. I am very honored that the Finance Minister saw that the New Horizons program does deliver, and we will continue to deliver by adding $10 million over a 2-year period to this program. For families, there's a couple things in here that I've advocated for, a little bit different than what I was asking for, but attacking the problem that I've been advocating, that I've been talking about. One is my wife works for Easter Seals, which is a charity in Ontario that raises money for disabled children. I actually used to work there myself a number of decades ago. One thing we are making a change in this budget is that we are eliminating the cap of $10,000 on the medical expense tax credit for those. If you are disabled yourself, there is no limit on the amount you can spend and get the tax credit for. But if you're looking after somebody else, in this case a child, there was a $10,000 limit on what you can spend each year and get that tax credit. This budget eliminates that $10,000 cap. And I can tell you by my experience and my wife's experience on the costs and the difficulty that parents face every day looking after a disabled child is a tremendous burden to begin with, but a burden that the parents that I know take on willingly and are willing to spend as what they can to make their children, their disabled children, as comfortable and as productive and enjoy life as much as possible. But that costs money, Madam Speaker, and what we're doing is we're removing any cap on the capital expense through the medical expense tax credit that was there in existence now. We're removing that limit, and I'm very proud of that move. The other thing that I've advocated for and we're doing is that we're introducing a new caregiver tax credit. Now, as you know, our population is aging, and I myself have two 93-year-old grandmothers still with us, and I've known 4 great-grandparents. And in both cases of my grandmothers, one lives with my parents, the other one lives with my uncle and aunt, and so they are caregivers for those individuals. There are caregivers in every single community. And what we're doing, which I think is very important, for the 500,000 caregivers, is that we're giving a tax credit recognizing the work that they're doing to look after either their spouse, their grandparents, their parents, their children, or their common law spouse. We are recognizing the value and the effort that those people are putting forward to make a quality of life for those individuals who need help and are giving care at home. The other area that I want to point out that may have not have been discussed in great detail yet is that we're offering a forgiveness of loans to those young doctors and nurses who are graduating from medical school, whether as a doctor or as a nurse, to go and practice in rural or remote areas. Now, you'll say, why is that important to somebody from Burlington, which is in an urban area? But I actually grew up in a rural area. I grew up in a small town in Ontario that had about 5,000 people in it. And I can tell you, Madam Speaker, that there's a struggle that my family has had over the last number of years where their doctor retired. And it was very difficult for that community to attract doctors to come and practice there. Nurses, this money, this ability for a new doctor, a new nurse, to be able to go to these communities, such as the ones that my parents and my family live in, to be able to practice and start without the burden of that debt that they're facing. Now, I've had meetings with medical students looking at debts of $120,000 and $100,000. It is significant, but we want to be able to encourage young people in the medical field to go to those rural areas and provide the services that we receive in our urban area. The energy retrofit issue has come up in the previous speaker, and I'm very proud that we are going back to making sure that individuals are able to look at what their energy efficiency needs are for their own home. And we will support them in making that happen to reduce their costs and reduce the consumption of energy, which is very important in this province and around the country. The final thing, since I only have a minute, I heard that we aren't supporting research and development. I just want to read a quote that I don't think too many folks have. It's from the McMaster University, which has a campus in my riding. The federal budget announced on Tuesday introduced new funding to support a variety of important university initiatives. And I quote this, the government has again recognized the critical role universities play in building Canada's future through its budget commitments to university research and support of students. Unquote. McMaster President Patrick Dean. Madam Speaker, we are putting money into innovation, into students, into research. like no other government ever has in this country. And I'm very proud to be a Conservative. I'm proud to serve in this government, and I'll be proud to serve in our future government after we go to this unnecessary election.
Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Kings Hunts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member spoke of investments in seniors, and first of all, is he aware that in this budget, federal transfers to seniors over the next 5 years will actually be reduced by $3 billion over what was projected in budget 2010. Secondly, does he think it's fair that under his government's caregiver plan, that paltry $300 in a non-refundable tax credit, that low-income Canadian families won't qualify? That in fact a Canadian taxpayer earning $20,000 with a dependent would be considered I guess, rich by the Conservatives or something, but in any case, they won't qualify to receive any benefit. That the Conservatives' caregiver plan and the Conservative volunteer firefighter plan actually discriminates against low-income caregivers and low-income firefighters. And my question is, why are the Conservatives discriminating against Canada's most vulnerable and denying the low-income Canadians these types of benefits?
The Honourable Member for Burlington.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honourable Member for his question. What I don't understand is what he's going to be able to tell his people back in his riding, that we're forced an election on when we had an opportunity to make a difference for Canadians. And I think, to the credit of the Finance Minister, he's put out a pamphlet here that's in relatively short form so that the Liberals can understand it, because we knew they weren't going to read it. But if he just went through supporting families and communities, we have the enhancing the GIS, we have the enhancements for New Horizons Senior Program, we're eliminating the federal rules on retirement age. We're supporting families through the family caregiver tax credit. As I mentioned, we're changing the medical expense tax credit. We're introducing flexibility on the registered disability plan. There's pages and pages, Madam Speaker, that Canadians will not benefit from because the Liberals got caught with their pants down, thinking the NDP weren't going to support this budget. Now they're facing an election and they have no plan, no idea what they're doing, and we are going to beat them at that.
Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Newmarket Aurora. Order, please.
Madam Speaker, I have heard from the member many of the initiatives that we're undertaking for seniors and many of the investments that we're making in innovation and research. But one of the things that he didn't comment on, and I wonder if he could expand on, is the initiative that this government has put in for tax credits for the arts. As a person who has studied music all my life and has seen the benefit of it in my own family, I wonder if the member could comment on what this means to the families of Burlington.
The Honourable Member for Burlington.
Thank you. It was a very good question for me, actually. I'm a big supporter of the arts. I've been working since 1999 on getting a performing arts centre for the city of Burlington, which is under construction as we speak, with the support of the federal money. My daughters, as a father, have taken advantage of the credit for activity in sports. I have very active, sports-oriented children, but the community of Burlington has a tremendous arts community for young people taking dance and music. We have the Teen Tour Band, a world-renowned band of 200 young people performing in their red coats all around the world. They're going to, I'll tell you where they're going to go. They're going to be going to commemorate Pearl Harbor, the only Canadian representatives there. This tax credit will make a big difference to the families of Burlington in their ability to make sure that their children are able to participate in the arts that makes our culture, makes culture not only in Burlington, but culture across this country an important aspect of everyday life. Sure. Thank you.